Now let's talk about your entrepreneurial ventures. Come from corporate, worked in Ghana for a little bit as well, and then you set up the whole Glitz Africa movement or group.
Yeah.
Where did you get your initial startup?
From my own personal savings. Yeah, it was tough because I started Glitz 13 years ago when I moved back to Ghana, and there wasn't anything like funding for anyone. And also I was going into an industry that wasn't a popular industry, right? You're starting a magazine. Who does magazine? People told me that, it won't work. People just like advertising. Because what people don't understand, magazine is an advertisement platform. So it's, but people were used to the traditional advertising, which is radio, billboards. So what will make somebody want to advertise in a magazine? But I'm very stubborn. I mean, when I want to do something, I just want to go ahead and do it. I have to prove to Claudia, apart from God, but I always pray, and the energy, what I'm feeling always give me the reassurance that I'm in a good, I'm on a good route or something as God wants me to be, because it feels right. When it feels right with me, nothing you say, I'll just go.
So do you think you're walking in your purpose?
Absolutely. I found my purpose. Absolutely. And people is my purpose. People, they are my purpose. Because if you look at everything in my journey, everything, starting a magazine, the magazine was all about people. Magazine is all about celebrating people, telling Ghanaian stories in a very tasteful way. Because I was getting sick and tired of, great people that we have, that we don't have great stories about them. Nigerians who are doing is celebrating their own. And I was like, who is telling our story? But not just telling our story in a very tasteful way that people will appreciate it and inspire people. Because all these young people, they're looking into elsewhere. They're looking into America for inspiration because they think that's what land of possibility. Ghana is land of possibility as well. There are women, there are men who've started with nothing and are now in billions of dollars.
But do you think
do you understand?
that people that led us, the people that have got the money, that have got the businesses, are telling us the truth?
They are when they find the right platform. And that's what I wanted my brand to give to them. Because people know when they understand the platform they're on. Do you understand? You've put on this platform. It's not every podcast that I will go to, but probably this is the first one I've actually come on to.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Because for me, it's about content. It's about the content that gives impact, that's trying to tell a great story about our country, about great people. And that's what I seek to. We were doing with Glitz Africa. And when they find the right place, they want to. Because that was one of my challenges when I go in to speak to them to do the stories in the magazine. Because Ghanaians sometimes they feel like they're showing off. But I'm like, it's not about showing off. I don't even want to talk about, the great whatever. It's the tough one that I want you to tell me. Because I want Kofi somewhere, sitting in the village somewhere, to know that you were actually also at one point there, like they were. Because I cannot connect with, and I can be inspired by Oprah, great. But I cannot be inspired what Oprah grew, she grew up and what she did. It's totally nothing different from Kate. Reroy Cable. I'm trying to, Auntie Kate, who owns the biggest cabling company. And in Ghana and now in West Africa, she's a Ghanaian. I want to sit with Auntie Kate, you understand? Because she started her business from Ghana. She's had children, she's had family, she's had the loans, she's had everything, but she still managed to build, great business. I cannot compare that experience with me learning from an Oprah Winfrey. Do you get what I mean? Because
I'm with you,
your experience in America is totally different.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of stories I wanted. I wanted us to celebrate our own Michelle Obamas, our own Oprahs, our own, big men and women in the country. And I think when they find the right place, they do want to tell the story. Life is not about how much money you have in your bank account. It's how much of an impact you're making. And most of these people, at the stages that they are, they want to actually impact people. But how to do it is finding the right of, guiding them on how the right way to do it. That's the way it lies.
I think you've done fantastic.
Thank you.
13 years ago, you started this.
Yeah.
I think you've built such a solid brand.
Thank you.
And I'm sure a lot of women who are watching would appreciate that you've influenced a lot of them.
Thank you.
But my question, being somebody coming from tech, is you are just over your 30th issue, but Glitz Africa magazine is not available online. You only have a paper version. How is your company trying to meet up with the tech revolution?
Yeah. So actually, we are working on all our digital platforms. You know, we have the Glitz app and all of these things. And we are working on them, and we're going to launch them early part of next year. But also, even globally, even though every brand now since COVID is trying to have a digital version, people still love their magazine. Magazines are coffee table, thing. That people still want to have their magazines. People don't throw away their magazines. People move homes and countries with their magazines and always refer to them. So I'm still very passionate about the paper version, but it's also nice as a brand to always have digital. And I mean, now all the big magazines, everybody is also doing digital, especially since COVID. So we are going into that, but we're still going to continue with our hard copy magazine as well.
And do you think that having a digital version would help, the brand move to the next level, especially reach to other people who are not on the continent?
Absolutely. Because we do get people that reach out to us, and we have to send magazines to them in Italy and different places. Okay. So we understand that the digital, we absolutely need to do the digital. But also people get tired sometimes just going to digital magazines, right? So you can't give them 100 or sometimes, because the hard copy is 150 pages. Okay. You don't want to give that. Social media is very fast, and they don't have long time to say and go through, so you have to do short, smaller versions that they can have and go through them and all of that. But we are working on that.
Amazing. I know the struggle that I have had trying to bring this platform, Konnected Minds. And the major struggle is getting guests. I mean, it's taken us several months to get through to your team, to make this happen. And this happened to every single guest. With Glitz Africa, you're doing the same thing. Meeting up with people, networking with them. How have you done it?
I think...
What's your strategy?
I'll say that when you start every brand, right, is being consistent with what you do. Okay. Because people, when you have spent so much energy and time to build your brand and to build yourself, I don't want to dilute my brand for something that I have built. I have built a trusted brand as Glitz Africa and a trusted and respectable brand as Claudia Lumor. So I don't want to dilute that in any place because they are calling me. So with the same mindset, if you're building something, you need to make sure that you need to make the brand, what you're trying to portray, need to be very clear to people. It doesn't have to be diluted. When I go to your website or your page or whatever, I have to get it clearly what you're trying to say. And for that, I can connect with that. Because if my team, sometimes they bring me lots of things every day to look at. Madam, we've got this invitation. Sometimes they themselves, they won't even bring it to me because they'll say, Claudia, will never do this one. Claudia will never do that. And sometimes they'll look at it and I said, oh, are you kidding me? I haven't got time for this. But there was something that will, as soon as I see and say, yeah, I'll do this one. So it depends on you, the people, what you're trying to do. If you're very serious again with your brand, and if you can see where you want to go to, then you'll be careful with how you do your things. I've had designers that I always tell them that, why are you trying to put your personal pictures on your designer's page? Because who you are as a person it's different from what I want you. You made the things I may want you to make for me are not things that you yourself would like to wear. So your brand and your creative mind should be totally different from what you like. You are not producing for yourself. You're producing for people. Do you understand? I always tell people that the people that may like Glitz Africa brand may not be the people that like Glitz Africa. It may not like Claudia Lumor because Claudia Lumor is not Glitz Africa. I'm producing Glitz Africa for a target audience, and I understand who my audience are. So we produce it for them. So it's not about what I like. It's about what my audience, what they want to read is what we produce, right? But it could be that I totally don't like what is even in the magazine or what's on the cover. But it's got nothing to do with me. It's what our audience want to see, and that's what we do. So once you build a brand and you're consistent with it, you build trust, you build integrity, you build, respect, all of that. And now guess what? Everybody want to associate with you. Glitz Africa, and I proudly say this because I can pull anybody. We don't even have to make phone calls. People want to reach out to us, whether it's first ladies, presidents, unless I don't want to call. You understand? Because people have seen what you've done. People respect the platform. And when I did interviews, I told my editorial team, did you realize that people don't even come back? Because we can actually destroy people with an interview. But people don't even come back to ask me to see the final interview because I edit them that like I'm crazy. Because I want people to come out in our magazine so good and so well that it's probably one of their best interviews they've done. I will sit down and make sure we edit over and over. There are people that said something in my interview that I've actually asked my team, you need to take this out because if this come out, it will not be good for their brand.
Right.
But they've said it. But I don't think they'll be good for their brand. You get what I mean? So I'm looking after them because I want them to look so good. And so I want them to be proud of what they've said in our magazines and everything. And we featured first ladies, ministers of states, big CEOs and global people. But they hardly even ask us for their interview because they know we'll look after them. And once you do that, why wouldn't anybody want to be on your platform? They would love to.
Absolutely. But, you mentioned consistency, right? But consistency, it's in line with the project that you're trying to do in the sense that for interviews, you need the guest to be able to remain consistent. Yeah. So how did you break through?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. But again, it's about substance. The people that you're bringing, it's not about the high caliber of people that you're bringing. It's about the substance, the content what you're saying. It could be that you're bringing in a nobody entrepreneur, but it's what they've done at that low level. Do you get what I mean? It's the story that you're telling, it's not the person. And that's for me, that's what I've done at Glitz, because we've had people who have millions of following and they'll reach out to us, they want to be on a cover. But I would never put you on the cover because what is your substance? I'd rather put, a nobody on the cover because their story and their journey is what I want people to know about. It's not about the person. I've had so many people, and now I think when I started Glitz, people were confused about it because they thought it was going to be celebrities, whatever. But even now the celebrities themselves, before they come to Glitz, they will tell you that, hey, madam, now I've built my brand, now people respect me. So for them, they understand that you have to be a certain quality. It's not about popularity. I'm not doing a popularity magazine here. I'm doing content that is respectable content. So now when they find themselves there, they know that, oh, that means now I'm serious. Now what I'm doing has substance. That's why you're on there. So that's what I'm saying. So even if you're starting with, but you've made it very clear that it's content, is the impact. And you clearly said that my thing is about impact. Yeah. So once people go on there and they start seeing the impact, then the big people themselves will start saying that I want to be there. Right. Because I see the words that's coming out of this so powerful, it's so inspiring. Why wouldn't I want to add my voice to something like that?
You've just given me a lot of tips, man. That question was for me. I'm sorry, it wasn't for you guys. It was for me. It was for me. To be able to get to that 13-year mark as she has.
You will get to.
Yeah, and then say that I've interviewed everyone on the planet. My goodness.
You will get to.